tenido contacto con alguno de estos profesores famosos del extranjero, ¿no?
Creo que no.
Nunca, no estuvieron en el Research Forum. Estuvo Jack C. Richards, él es famosoide.
Sí, sí, fuimos varias personas, pero no todas interactuamos mucho porque igual personalmente a mí todavía me da vergüenza
Ya,
como meterme.
ya. Jack C. Richards es bacán. Ahí se pegaron un portazo gigante. El gallo es heavy. Estoy hablando ahí de la elite. Nosotros ocupamos harto una Biblia de... Ah, no, de Jack C. Richards hay unos de planificación que son re bacán. Eso, en el PED estuvo también el profe Ortiz, llegó a J.C. Wells, ¿lo cachan ahí o no? No, I don't know how to say that. Phonologist, J.C. Wells. Y después estuvo el otro, Mercy. Bueno, parece que lo llevó el profesor Ortiz, como Mikey Old Father. Ya. Y si los chicos, cadera todo. Pro-choice. Ahí está. Okay, each 72-member Senate will convene on Tuesday to debate a bill that was approved by the lower house earlier this month to the delight of pro-choice activists. Okay, again, each 72-member Senate will convene on Tuesday to debate a bill that was approved by the lower house earlier this month to the delight of pro-choice activists. Okay, so I can see quite clearly that the will convene is my verb phrase there, right? Auxiliary verb, quite easy. Pre-modifier and convene is the verb head. Who will convene? It's 72-member Senate. That's a noun phrase. Subject. It's 72-member Senate. I would say this is it is something like a determiner, I think. Pre-modifier, 72-member. There's a hyphen right there. So I would say this is just a single vexing. And as it is ending in a noun, I would say this is something like a noun pre-modifier. And then Senate would be my noun set. So far, so good. Its 72-member Senate will convene on Tuesday. When? On Tuesday. Okay. So I would say this is a prepositional phrase. There's someone else. Okay. Adverbial time, right? With a prepositional phrase inside of it. Okay, this is a quite canonical prepositional phrase. So we have this preposition head followed by this noun phrase complement made out of a noun head. They will convene on what? To debate a bill that was approved by the lower house earlier this month to the light of pro-choice activists. Estoy casi seguro que parte aquí, obviamente. They will convene on Tuesday that, right? And I think it ends till the very end. Do you realize that I changed the entire clause by saying that? That is because it is something like a noun, therefore I can change it into a pronoun. So they will convene on Tuesday to debate a bill that was approved by the lower house earlier this month to the light of pro-choice activists. Okay, yeah, I believe this is one thing, and this thing is answering a what, therefore is an object. It begins with to debate. Therefore, this is a verb phrase. As there is a verb phrase and something else, then there is a valency pattern. So as a consequence, I would say this is a to infinitive clause acting as an object. How do I say, or why do I say to infinitive? Well, basically because the verb phrase, which is the very beginning of this clause, is a to infinitive verb phrase. Therefore, the entire clause will be named as that verb phrase. So and now we have another valency pattern. Okay, so to debate what? A bill that was approved by the lower house earlier this month to the light of pro-choice activists. Creo que eso parte ahí. To debate, ¿qué cosa? A bill that was approved, y ahí veo en la that nominal clause post modifier, ¿cierto? A bill that was approved by the lower house cuando earlier this month, ¿cierto? Pero ese earlier this month está dentro de la that clause. Why to the delight of the, así estamos. Entonces parte ahí y termina acá, ¿cierto? Entonces lo que yo tengo aquí es una verb phrase, verb made out of a verb head. To debate what? A bill. This is a noun phrase. Object made out of a, which is a determinate pre-modifier, bill is the head, and then I have that was approved by the lower house earlier this month to the light of pro-choice activists. I think this is, okay, this is a post modifier. So there is a that. Therefore, this is a that clause modifier. And inside of that, I have that, which is, I'm going to change the color, is a conjunction, is a subordinating conjunction. And then I have another valency pattern, right? Was approved by the lower house when earlier this month. Why? To the delight of pro-choice activists. Earlier this month, to the delight of pro-choice activists, pro-choice activists. Okay. So was approved is my verb phrase verb. Was is my auxiliary verb, pre-modifier. Approved is my verb head. Then I have by the lower house. Okay, so here I have another prepositional phrase. It comes from the that clause. This is a prepositional phrase. Was approved by them, right? By them. Therefore, entities, therefore, objects, right? Now I have by is my preposition head. And now the lower house, and the lower house is a noun phrase complement made out of the determiner the pre-modifier. Lower is the adjective pre-modifier. And finally, house is the noun head. When earlier this month. Wow, ahí está difícil. Eso es una earlier this month. What do you see there? Is that an adjective or is that a noun phrase? If you think a little bit about it, it's a noun phrase. The problem with that being a noun phrase is the fact that we have at the very beginning an adjective, a comparative adjective earlier, and then we have a determiner. Now, if we think a little bit, we saw when we were reviewing the noun phrases that a noun phrase will begin with a determiner, right? Therefore, earlier is not possible inside of a noun phrase. And then we have earlier. Earlier is an adjective, and we know that after an adjective, what we can find is a true infinitive clause complement or a prepositional phrase complement. In this case, it doesn't sound right. I'm thinking about it. Y si busco earlier, a ver, busquemos earlier. Esto es Cambridge Online Dictionary. Earlier. Es un comparative. Muchas gracias, no dice nada. En los ejemplos dice by comparison, the earlier building orders, pero es una noun phrase. Earlier marriage, también es una clarita, una adjective clarita. Y si lo busco por grammar, nada. Nada de nada. Nada de nada. Y si lo busco por early this month. Early. Ah, qué bien interesante. While I was reading some various texts below, two things came up over and over like them in a rule. Early this morning, earlier this month. If early and earlier were exchanged. Early this morning is the same as saying earlier this morning. Yeah, without changing the meaning. There seems to be none. Of course, there's a distinction between an adjective and an adverb. It's comparative. However, speaking as a British, I notice a phenomenon in the U.S. English that seems to confuse the two. I speak of old and older for I don't know what specific reasons. An old person may be described as an older person in the U.S. The distinction has become blurred. This is not the case in the UK. Could this be part of the same phenomenon? Oh, this is strange. Well, apparently, there is a difference between British and American English, and in American English, they tend, there's a tendency to exchange adverbs and comparative adjectives in these type of constructions. If that would be the case, I would say early this month. Early this month is quite possible because there are some cases in which the terminers can be preceded by some adverbs. If that would be the case, then if that would be the case, then what we're seeing is basically American English, and the problem would be related to the usage, like a dialect or something like that. If that would be the case, then what we have would be a noun phrase acting as an adverbial because you're talking about time. Earlier would be considered to be, even though it's written as an adjective, it is considered to be an adverb, but as it is written as an adjective, we must keep the same recognition, I would say, as a premodifier. And then we will have the determiner premodifier, and finally the noun here. So is it possible for a adverb to precede a determiner? As far as I know, yes, there are certain cases in which you can have that. It is common. Is it common? Oh, I don't know. I've seen it. Yes. Do I have any other example? Oh, but that time, at this particular time, I can't think of any others. But I do remember the rule. I will leave it like that. Then, finally, we will have another prepositional phrase at the very end, to the delight of pro-choice activists. Why to the delight of pro-choice activists? I think made out of the preposition to, and then the noun phrase complement, the delight of pro-choice activists. The delight of pro-choice activists. Pro-choice activists. I would think for, I think I consider pro-choice as a noun again because of the word choice as it is the last one, right? A single lexion because of the of this hyphen, and then finally activists. Now, okay, and I will finish this like this, just like that. I would leave it just like that. Okay, let's go and try the second one. Mariela Belsky, Amnesty International's executive director in Argentina, said that she was confident the voluntary interruption of pregnancy bill would be approved, therefore sending a loud message to a region with some of the world's most restrictive abortion laws. Okay, it's big. I think it is not that that difficult. What we're going to do is reducing the size first of all, and I think I can. I believe I can separate it. Okay, I'm going to go to the other page as well because we won't have much room for the analysis otherwise. Okay, so Maria Belsky, Amnesty International's executive director in Argentina, said that she was confident the voluntary interruption of pregnancy will be approved, therefore sending a loud message to a region with some of the world's most restrictive abortion laws. I think the their phrase is said. She said. And here we have a noun phrase in a position. In Argentina, that's a prepositional phrase. Amnesty International's executive director. So she's the executive director. Whose or what kind of? Whose. Therefore, this is a determiner, right? So this is a noun phrase subject, very big. Mariela Belsky is just a name, therefore just referring to a single entity as a consequence noun head. Then I have this noun phrase in a position, therefore as a post modifier. Therefore, as a post modifier, and inside of that I have this genitive phrase, which is acting as a determiner, pre-modifying this, which is made out of Amnesty International's. I would say, well, you can say this is just what legal name there for noun said, or you can say, okay, it's not any international thing, this is Amnesty, it's not a name. It's impossible to be something different than a name. This is just a noun said. It's just a name. An executive director. Is there any other way in which you can be a director not being an executive director? Like school director, yeah, you can be. Yeah, you can be something like that. So this is a noun pre-modifier or orchestra director, I would say. And then we have this. Wait, hice un montón de errores. Porque eso nos sale directo de arriba. Esto sale de esta noun phrase. Entonces hay un noun pre-modifier, hay un noun head, y ahora tengo esta prepositional phrase post modifier, made out of the preposition head in, and then the noun phrase complement Argentina. And then have verb phrase verb said. So she said that she was confident, therefore here we have a clause. That she was, therefore this is that nominal clause. She said that this, therefore is an object. That she was confident the voluntary interruption of pregnancy bill would be approved. Would be approved. The problema will be approved, therefore sending a loud message to a region with some of the world. Creo que termina ahí. Puedo cambiarla a ver. She said that she was confident sending a loud message. So that's a consequence. Sending a loud message is a consequence of the previous thing, that the approval of the bill will send the message. Therefore, is a consequence. Therefore, is an adverbial of the very same clause. Yeah, so we're right. Now here we have noun phrase subject was confident. She was confident of this, the voluntary interruption of pregnancy. That the voluntary interruption of pregnancy would be approved. Therefore, sending a loud message to a region. Oh, super grande. Right? Okay, let's begin with the with the noun phrase subject. Noun phrase subject made out of a pronoun head. This is a verb phrase verb made out of was, is an auxiliary verb, therefore pre-modifier. She was, me equivoqué. She was, how was she? She was confident. Therefore, eso va de ahí para allá. Espérenme. Espérenme. Okay. She was what? she was confident, right? Verb phrase there, verb head, she was confident. Confident. This is an adjective phrase. Si tengo noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective phrase, y esa verb phrase es el verb be, therefore I have a subject complement. Adjective head. She was confident. Y luego lo que tengo atrás, she was confident that the, y ahí tengo una adjective phrase complement que sale de aquí. Es una that clause complement de esa adjective head, porque nos dice confident of the, you see that? And here we have something, I mean, an entire clause again, all over again. The voluntary interruption of pregnancy bill, that's my noun phrase. Subject made out of the, la pregunta que hago con voluntary interruption of pregnancy bill está en quotation marks. Está en quotation marks, meaning, which might mean that the whole chunk, voluntary interruption of pregnancy, is primo defining bill, right? It is not any bill, it is the voluntary interruption of pregnancy bill, acting as a single unit, right? Because the whole thing is telling us how can we, or how we should understand that bill. I would say this whole stuff is just one single lexeme acting as something like a noun. And then we have bill. Bill would be the noun set. Would be approved, right? And this is our verb phrase verb, right? Quite easy. Would be approved, right? Would be approved. No more. No problem. Would be approved. Sending. And this is something different. I know this is, it's inside of the, okay, let's read it again. Marina Belsky, Amnesty International's executive director in Argentina, said that she was confident that the voluntary interruption of pregnancy bill would be approved, sending a loud message to a region with some of the world's most restrictive abortion laws. So, I'm questioning myself, I'm asking myself, I'm wondering, where is that ing clause located? So Marina Belsky, she said that she was confident that the voluntary interruption this whole stuff. Oh crap! Wait. No. Y- Ya, tienes acá. Y todo eso sale de ahí. Sí, esta de acá es una ING clause, sí lo sabemos, ¿cierto? Si la pregunta es dónde está pegada, pero marquémoslo. Sending what allowed message to a region with some of the world's most restrictive abortion laws. Allowed message to a region with, oh, prepositional phrase, con una prepositional phrase como complemento, with some of the world's most abortion laws. Okay, I know this is a verb phrase verb made out of a verb head. I know this is a noun phrase object made out of a determinate pre-modifier. Loud is an adjective head. Message is a noun head. Ay, perdón. I know this is a noun phrase object made out of a determinant pre-modifier, an adjective pre-modifier, and finally message is a noun head, followed by a prepositional phrase. Post modifier with a preposition head and then a noun phrase complement with a determinant a pre-modifier region is a noun head, and then I have another prepositional phrase, post modifier. Aquí está lo interesante. With some of the world's most restrictive abortion laws. And there you can see that we have this prepositional phrase, with some of the world's most restrictive abortion laws. Está hecha de una preposition head, pero su complemento es some of the world's most restrictive abortion laws. Es otra prepositional phrase. Complemento. Interesantillo. Y acá tenemos también otro muy buen ejemplo de por qué Viber dice que estas cosas no existen, porque sale some of, some, es un determiner, pre-modifier. ¿Y qué premodifica? Solo un head. ¿Cuál es el head? La preposition head. Of. Del lado de ella está la noun phrase complement. Pregunta. The world's most restrictive abortion laws. What kind of most restrictive abortion laws, or whose most restrictive abortion laws? I think it's whose. Therefore, we have this genitive phrase acting as a determiner, pre-modifying this. Inside of that, we have this determiner phrase, this determiner pre-modifier D, and then the noun head worlds. Next to that, we have most restrictive. How restrictive? It is the most restrictive. Therefore, we have, okay, first of all, I'm adding the genitive phrase parenthesis, and now I have to add the adjective phrase parenthesis. There is an adjective phrase pre-modifying with an adverb, pre-modifying, and then an adjective head to end up with abortion laws. Are there any other kind of laws? Yes. Therefore, they are two separate elements Abortion is a noun. No. Okay, right there. Abortion is a noun pre-modifier. And finally, laws is a noun here. Y eso es. Intentemos la última y no las molesto más. Vamos a bajar. Eso. I only hope the Senate realizes that there is no turning back now. The women's movement will not allow them to decide any longer about our bodies, about our health. Okay, here we have some very interesting stuff. The very first of them is the fact that this is not just one single sentence, there are two of them. How do I know that? Well, basically because of this period over there, so I can actually separate them. The very first of them now. I only hope the Senate realizes that there is no turning back now. I would say, okay, so I'm going to make it bigger because, okay, draw. Okay, let's draw. Okay, I only hope, okay, I only hope. Oh, ¿por qué hago only hope? No, I only hope. Only I hope. Well, basically because there are some stuff, okay, verb phrases, there are different types of verb phrases. And one of them is called discontinuous verb phrases. Verb phrases, la que se traduce en un intrusive element. Que se coloca adelante del verb head. O sea, si veo un adverbial in front of my verb head, I would assume it is a discontinuous verb phrase. This is a noun phrase. Subject, final head. This is an auxiliary verb. Pre-modifier and hope is my noun head. Is my verb head. I only hope that the same. Okay, so again, there is another elided that I'm omitted. So here we have a that clause that the Senate realizes that there is no turning back now. This is a that clause. As an object, the Senate realizes that there is no turning back now. Okay, that's quite obvious. There is no turning back now. Okay, so the Senate, noun phrase subject, determinant, pre-modifier, noun head, realizes that there is no, so here we have another that clause as an object with a noun phrase subject with a pronoun there. No turning back is my verb phrase there. Okay. Verb head. And now we have a problem. What is no turning back? Very interesante. On the one hand, there is no turning back. There is no turning back. If I read that, I can see that there is a verb be followed by no, and then followed by turning ing and then back. So what I would say on the very first hand would be, okay, there's a huge, huge verb phrase, which is no turning back. But then my question is the presence of the determinant no. Okay, let's be clear. There's one thing called the negative particle not, and there's another thing called the determinant no. The negative particle not then is used inside of verb phrases, but as we already know, the determinant no, determinants, they tend to go with nouns, therefore this is used with noun phrases. So apparently, no turning back, it is not a verb phrase. What I might have is a verb phrase and then a noun phrase. No turning back then might be a noun phrase, acting as an object. So what I have to do now is seeing whether turning back is a noun or not. So I'm going to take that. Okay. We'll turn something back. Okay, it's a phrasal verb, we know that. Crap. Apparently it's something like just a verb to return in the direction you have come from or to make someone to do is we're lost. We'll have to turn back. Okay, but in this case, there's a verb phrase with the semi-modal have to. Okay, let's take a look if I can find the okay. There's no turning back. There's no turning back now. Apparently, it's also an expression. What I would say is that we might have something called nominalization. No, nominalization means I can turn a verb into a noun by using its ing form. One of the examples I'm thinking right now is reading. Reading is one of the 4 different skills, right? It comes from the verb read. And this feature happens with all the different 4 skills in English, right? So if I say that, what I would have then is no as a determinant pre-modifier, and then turning back as a noun head. Finally, Now is an adverb, therefore creating an adverb phrase, adverbial, with an adverb head. Finally, this is the last we're going to do. The women's movement will not allow them to decide any longer about our body, about our health. The women's movement will not allow them to decide any longer about our bodies, about our health. To decide any longer about our bodies, about our health, about our bodies, about our health. So this would be my noun first subject. What kind of movement or whose movement? I would say this is what kind of movement or whose movement? Whose movement, right? So this is a genitive phrase, determiner made out of the determiner the, and women would be the noun head. Then I will have the noun head movement. Third phrase there, will not allow them, will not, will, my auxiliary verb, pre-modifier, will not, right? The negative particle, negative particle, allow, verb head, noun phrase, object, pronoun head. To do what? To decide. This is a two infinitives, acting as an object, therefore this is an indirect object and this is a direct object. With a verb phrase verb head, to decide how long, any longer. So this is an adjective phrase acting as an adverbial. Any is a determiner, pre-modifier, and this is an adjective head. About what about this, right? So this is a prepositional phrase acting as an adverbial because we already have the two different objects. No, wait. Then to decide any longer about this. This is an object. Object. Porque nuestra participación era B-A-O. Preposition, head, y luego noun phrase complement. Y aquí tengo algo peludo. Esto se llama, eso de ahí, la coma, se llama asynthetic coordination. That is to say, you erase the coordinating conjunction and. Don't worry, you're going to see that later on this year with Leo or Pablo. This is just in the example, but it is not going to be measured in our test. Our bodies okay, no, I screw this. Let me fix it. They are not going to decide any longer about our bodies. Y aquí termina una prepositional phrase about preposition head, our bodies. Ahí está, determiners, pre-modifier. Y aquí está el noun head, canónico. Y finalmente aquí tengo otra prepositional phrase porque about tiene su propia preposición, ¿cierto? About. Entonces aquí tengo otra preposition as an object. Y se repite lo mismo. Preposition head, noun phrase complement, determiner pre-modifier, y health is the noun head, and that's it. As you can see, we have reviewed basically every single thing we have discussed during this entire year. Please be very careful with the parentheses. You can also do the rest of them. I think the biggest one is the last one, but all the others are quite in the same difficulty, I would say. And if you take a look, obviously, all the ones that are related to the abortion laws in Argentina, they were written by the same person. Therefore, we might say that the difficulty would be the very same as the ones we already did. And in the last three of them, there's another author, that's another author. So perhaps the difference would be, I mean, the difficulty would be different. Which is quite interesting because syntax has to do with the stylistics as well. And one author might differ from another author in the way in which they write, right? In the way in which they use the complexity of the sentence, I would say. Eso. ¿Alguna consulta de alguien? ¿No?
Personalmente no.
Estamos trabajando lo mismo y ahora son básicamente los grandes resúmenes nomás, como pueden ver en en los ejercicios, ocupan básicamente todo lo que hemos visto durante el año. El nivel de dificultad es casi el mismo. ¿En qué se diferencian de los de principio de año? Bueno, es que ahora aparecen algunas cláusulas dentro de la misma, ¿no? En la oración. Nosotros no pedimos tanto, o sea, no mido vales y patches ni nada. Eso solo me interesa que vean ustedes, esto está dentro de esto otro y acá adentro hay frases. Eso. El miércoles entonces, nosotros tenemos clases a las 2:30. Yo les voy a dejar la prueba el miércoles a esa hora, se lo puedo enviar al correo y usted me la manda durante el día y yo correré a revisarla y tendré todo listo para el domingo, espero, muy seguramente para el domingo. De esa forma, por sus 3 notas, la gente que tenga que dar recit lo dará el día miércoles de la próxima semana. ¿Ya? El video lo voy a dejar a su disposición en el canal de YouTube que me ha ocupado todo el año. Si nadie tiene nada más que decir, las dejo en que tengan una linda tarde. Díganme.
Es que lo que pasa es que yo todavía no tengo mi segunda nota. Fui de las personas que les pidió que le reenviaran la prueba. Una de esas personas que mandó un correo y...
Déjame anotar. Tranquilidad. ¿Me puedes de todas formas, mándame un correo ahora, por favor?
Ya.
Por favor. Prueba 2, ¿no? Sí, prueba 2. Ya, lo reviso ahora.
Ya, ok. Gracias.
Ok. Ya pues gente, eso. Cuídense mucho, que estén muy bien y nos vemos el miércoles para la prueba, ¿ya?
Chao, profe.
Ya, profe.
Que esté bien.
Éxito.
Cuídese.
Profe, no, corte, por favor. Tengo una pregunta. ¿Tendrá la corrección de la prueba anterior?
Sí.
¿La podría enviar, por favor?
Pídemela por correo para reenviártela.
Ya, se la mando al tiro.
Sí,
Dale.
yo igual.
Mándenme un correo para poder reenviarlas por los mismos correos.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Cuídese.
Cuídese.
Ok. Chao.
Chao.